All right, so welcome to the Grit Culture. Back for another one. Please like, share, subscribe. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's help us get up in the ranks of the algorithm. You know, we deal with things in detail and objectively here on this channel. So we're the type of channel that they hate here on YouTube. You know, they like more rigid type of perspectives. So let's help it build up something like this. We'll continue to improve also. Anyways, we got a verdict within the George Floyd trial. And it's what I expected. And it's not to say that it couldn't have went another way, but I expected it to be a guilty verdict on all three accounts, namely the second degree manslaughter and third degree murder. So we go wait for sentencing, but yeah. So Derek Chauvin is guilty. So yeah, I pretty much expected it, because I tend to look at things, I view many cases by the detail. I look into the details of everything, and I want to know, when a person beats a case, I want to know how. Usually a lot of times it's the city laws or state laws that allow them. And so when I looking at this, I just didn't see any way that Derek Chauvin could have beat this. Everything looked bad. So I was pretty confident, I was talking to many people, getting phone calls, and, they asking me, a lot of people nervous and asking me, hey, man, it's not looking good. Look what the prosecutor's coming up with, and, this and that. And, I'm just like, hey, it's going to be I expect it to be a guilty verdict. It's just not enough evidence. It just, as much as the lawyer is trying, and he's supposed to, that's what he gets paid to do. That's all a part of the whole legal system. I know a lot of people were, like I talked about in the last video, they felt like it shouldn't even be, it shouldn't even be a trial, but, everybody gets, everybody should have their day in court. That's just, constitutional. It's the right thing to do, Everybody should have their day in court, and should no corners be cut, because like I said, that could turn around and bite, us, the people, in the butt. So the right decision was made, in my opinion. I only had one, the only point in the trial that I had a little bit of question of it was when I was looking at, the question was presented on, if the knee was actually on the neck or on the shoulder blade. And I was, kind of taking a look, I kind of paused for a second, but when I examined it, I was like, nah, that's on the neck, man. That's on the neck. All these people out here talking about it was the drugs. It's like, man, stop it, man. Stop it. All the stuff there's no drugs found in this system, very minimal, if at that. And then, a good thing that was presented within the, within the prosecution was the fact that of all these different cases, there's never been any episode at any other point in George Floyd's life except at this very point, to where he has, he's being held down on the ground with the knee on his neck and his breathing being constricted. Now, people arguing against the breathing thing, you obviously haven't been in police custody. Obviously haven't been in police custody, or not even that, but you obviously haven't been in that position, because it happens much easier than what you believe. I've been in that position, and, knee wasn't even on my neck. It was just on my back, subduing me. And, it was only like that for 10 to 20 seconds, but my airways were just completely, completely hindered. I couldn't breathe at all. So, that alone, and then you got 4 guys, subduing you, one with his hands in his pocket. He's obviously in any type of danger, could have let up at any moment. But he decided to, be careless and negligent. So that sealed his fate. So, no, the right thing, I expected it to come out like this. And y'all know me, I really wasn't entirely engaged, whether it would have been a guilty or not guilty, because I know there's work that still has to be done afterwards. Now, I wanted it to be guilty, but like I said, I wasn't going to see me, fall out crying or anything like that. There's a lot of things that have to be put in place. And at the end of the day, a life was still lost. So we still have to, the fight still has to be there. The fight will always have to remain, even in a perfect world. You still have to make sure that you're barricading the door to make sure you're not letting anything in. And so it's got to continue. You got to make sure that you're putting the right, knowing your laws and bringing it to your city councils or your state representatives on different ways that you can, turn the tides back into the citizens' hands without completely handicapping your police. You want the police to still be able to do your job. All these people talking about, you had the crazy woman Rashida Tlaib talking about completely getting rid of the police. Okay, if you're going to say that, you have to have an alternative. So who's going to get out there and do the job? But other than that, you just got to hold accountable the ones that are there, and you got to put people in a position to where when it comes to things like that and there's a certain threshold that the police oversteps, there has to be a certain marker and a certain line, and once the police oversteps that marker, you can defend yourself. And I'm talking about whether, a shot has been fired or, or not. Once a certain threshold gets stepped, there has to be something identifiable as a threshold, within the way of the law. And it's something that has to be discussed amongst, that we got to discuss amongst each other. But people should feel comfortable with defending themselves against the police. So there's still a lot of work that has to be done. The main thing it should not just be focused on, getting payback or, for some, we have to, the focus has to be on prevention of lives being lost. We got to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because you see that it's kept happening ever since. It's kept happening. There's still, some of them are, justified, and then some, just completely flat out wrong. You got to be able to dig into the details and, look at everything from an objective standpoint without, just completely casting judgment or being influenced by mainstream media. So, glad to hear the verdict. I'm glad people are happy, but still a lot of work to be done. Now, one thing, I don't expect this to stick. But it still, has me wondering is, the judges, words, and about what Maxine Waters pulled and how that could affect his appeal and could possibly give a successful appeal. Now, I don't expect that to stick, but anything's possible. And you got to question these public leaders, and I believe Maxine to be one of them. She, we want to believe that, they're just moving, recklessly and they didn't know what they're doing. But, if you look at history, these people are pretty well, organized on how to move, and a lot of stuff they do are pre-planned. So, and I'm not saying that's what this is, but, very high possibility. And with Maxine being reckless like that and saying what she did in the streets, her being a public official, it's different, It's different. Me and you, it's different. We can go out and give our opinion. But somebody being a congresswoman and making a statement like that, it's completely reckless. Completely reckless, and you providing a possibility for a loophole within the case. And never rule out the possibility that could have been done purposely. But that's diving more into the conspiracy theory. So I won't even deal with that right now. It's just keep an eye out. But other than that, there's still work to be done. Rest in peace to George Floyd. I hope Derek Chauvin, gets full retribution for his actions. But other than that, I ain't got nothing else, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If there's anything I missed, or, if I'm wrong or anything, let me know. Or if you agree, whatever it is. Let your thoughts be known in the comment section, and I will holler at you fellas and ladies later. Peace.